Hello, Chaplain David here with this week's Chapel Notes. This week, which is in fact the final week of chapels and the final week of classes. So being our last chapels for the school year, we took some time to focus on the transition that we're all facing, the time ahead. We celebrated a lot of birthdays. And then we also took some time to reflect on the current challenges that we face. Our reading came from Paul of Tarsus' letter to the Christian community in the city of Philippi. Paul, St. Paul, is writing to a community that is facing many, many challenges. And Paul himself is writing this letter from prison, first century Roman prison. And in the passage we read, he says a couple of things. He tells us to celebrate or rejoice in the Lord in the midst of challenging circumstances. But then he points out that's not in denial of the reality of the circumstances. That's not a rejoicing or celebrating the Lord as if nothing bad is happening. But he says, remember to be gentle and remember that even in such circumstances, God is close to you. Then he challenges us to pray, to take our anxieties and our worries to God. And he's talking about not about being concerned. He obviously wants people to be concerned if you've read any of the rest of Paul's work. But he knows that there's a level of worry or anxiety that debilitates us. It makes us unable to positively address the circumstance. And in great anxiety and worry, we are more likely to become part of the problem than part of the solution. Then he gives what I thought were some very practical notes for 8th graders moving into the next season of their life in high school, and for all of us. Paul puts it this way: finally, sisters and brothers, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or worthy of praise, think deeply about these things. You know, and I thought, if you turn on the news, maybe, or if you look at a lot of what our media world, what our social media world, what they focus on is often the exact opposite of these things. We get inundated with the untrue, the ignoble, whatever is wrong, whatever is impure, whatever is ugly, whatever is disgusting, whatever is bad, and whatever is worthy of condemnation. In other words, the exact opposite of true, noble, right, pure, lovely, to be admired, excellent, worthy of praise. And is it any wonder our anxiety levels rise? So I suggested that we make a point not to put our heads in the sand, but to be conscious of what we're filling our heads with. Are we thinking deeply about what is lovely, about what is noble, about what is true, about what is right, about what is excellent and worthy of praise? And then our actions grow out of that focus. I think that would be a lovely way to move into the next season of our lives. And being mindful of the situation around us and the current difficulties and challenges facing us as a nation, as a culture, as a people, I thought of that Franciscan prayer, the peace prayer, sometimes called the prayer of St. Francis. It comes out of the Franciscan tradition, though it's not of Francis himself. But it's quite well known, often only in part, in this world of sound bites. So we focused on the whole thing. And it's published in the notes to go with chapel this week, so you can read it yourself. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, let me sow pardon. Where there is doubt, let me sow faith. Where there is despair, let me sow hope. Where there is darkness, let me sow light. Where there is sadness, let me sow joy. O divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned. And it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. You see, there is no peace without justice, compassion, and love. So to be an instrument of God's peace, where there is hatred, let me sow love. Sow is action. Sow is work. You've got to go out and plant the seeds. Where there is injury, let me sow pardon. Go into injury with pardon. Go into doubt to sow faith. Go into despair to sow hope. Go into darkness to sow light. Go into sadness to sow joy. This is not sitting on our hands dreaming of some other world. This is love in action. And every parent knows love takes work. It has been a blessing and an honor to serve as chaplain this year for the Gooden school community. It's meant a lot to me. And I'm looking forward to next year when we'll do this again in our wherever part of our adventure we're in. Thank you for trusting us with your children. We understand that to be a sacred trust. May your summer have grace in it, and may we all work for peace built on love. Muscular, strong, compassionate love. Grace and peace.